Uh-oh.
What?
All right, you can unveil. The cameras are on.
Oh, he can unveil the long.
Whoa.
Wow.
The Matador.
The Matador.
Matador.
Dan, the
Should be
Matador.
like
The hair, Dan.
Oh, the hairs.
look at that guy.
That guy's.
Todd, we have a lot of pictures in the studio of people who painted Dan and they look nothing like him. That actually looks like him.
That actually, yeah, looks like.
Oh, that's
great.
going to get a good spot.
But he's been working on this for like 3 years. He started this. All of a sudden, I go, hey, is it finished yet? My portrait finished? And then all of a sudden, we finally get it. Wow.
Wow, that's great. Look at the detail in like your coat there. It's
Can I
pretty rad.
explain?
Yeah.
Can you? oh,
We're about to get into all that.
Explaining.
Yeah, a lot of explaining to
Yeah. There's my
That's
wife's
funny, man.
Mother's Day gift right there.
Awesome.
Yep.
Pull up a scene.
Gonna,
Good to
yes.
I've been waiting a while.
Oh yeah.
I know my mother was getting sick of looking at it.
You're back.
looks really good.
Oh wow. Nice little gift here. A couple of years late, but Todd Marinovich, I told you before we went to a commercial break that he's really a great artist, and he's contributed a couple of things to the Man Cave. Also played a little football for USC and the Raiders and the CFL. To learn more about Todd, toddmarinovich.com to see all of his artwork there. But you started this a while ago.
I did.
You finally got around to completing it. What have you been doing in the meantime here?
Well, you know, when I started the painting, as you know, on the set, I took it home, and once I got the likeness of you to my liking, I thought I was happy with it. And a lot of time when I'm painting, I'm not trying to come up with anything. And I was working on your sport coat, and it had this matador look to it. And so what I've learned is don't fight it, just go with it. And then as I'm finishing it up, I think of sports in America like this raging bull, and that will trample you and not even think anything of it. And most people don't have the balls to get in the arena with it. And I've watched you, Dan, over the decades do it with such grace and almost like a dance, reminiscent of the Matador.
Ooh, wow, that's deep. Wow, that's deep. Wow, thank you. Yeah, I'm very shallow. You went deep there. Well done. Thank you. All right, let's dive into this here.
Yes, please.
Because was it a year ago that we had Todd on?
Maybe a year and a half here
Okay.
in studio.
All right. Then all of a sudden, read about you relapsing.
Yes.
Now, what don't we know about that situation?
Well, here's the deal. I've had physical sobriety before, and what I have today is completely different. And I was never willing to do the work it takes to treat my illness. And now that I've treated it, the problem has been removed, and now it's my responsibility to keep it removed. And a big part of that is service work. And
But how does this incident happen? What led up to this?
drugs and alcohol, Dan. Yeah, without a doubt.
But there has to be a moment where you go, if I go here, I'm not coming back. Like you can't just do a little, right?
Correct.
Yeah, like you
Yes.
went all in.
Yes, I can't. You know what? My body doesn't know the difference between street drugs or prescription drugs. It just, when I put drugs into my body or alcohols, it tells me is I want more. Of it. And then all bets are off. So, you know what? I've been in recovery before, but it's different today in the sense, like I said, why all of a sudden the willingness to do the work? Well, humiliation at a whole new level, self-loathing, and really wanting a different life and willing to do that. And you know what? A lot of people don't want to do the work, and that's why.
Well, people want to tell people what they want to hear, right?
Right.
And you guys are good liars.
Master manipulators, let me tell you.
Yes, and but you have to tell a wife, or you have to tell kids. I mean, you're lying to a lot of different people.
Without a doubt, and that's the number one thing. Probably the biggest liberating feeling I've experienced as a human being is being honest, completely honest. And now I get to, you know what, if you would have told me that I'm getting in front of 2,000 people sharing my story and being completely open and honest, I would have said, "You're absolutely crazy. You're on drugs."
Yeah.
But it's the most gratifying experience that I've really had, and I do that. I was in Florida doing it. I'm in Torrey Pines High School at the end of the month, and it's issues that we need to address because I was at a high school in South Orange County where, check this one out, 23 students are dead from the class of 2008 because of opiate
Oh, wow.
addicted deaths, and
Yeah.
that is just staggering.
Did painkillers? I know you tried pot in high school.
Yes,
Alcohol.
I did a little more than
Oh, you did?
try. Yeah.
Okay. But
Yeah.
when did painkillers come into this, and did they play any role in you sort of when you were playing that all of a sudden you're like, I love this feel?
You know what? Yes. It's that warm, fuzzy feeling that all painkillers give you that I enjoy.
But was heroin the same feel? Is that the warm and
Correct.
fuzzy?
Yes.
Oh boy.
Yeah, the same. I mean, if you go, like, if grandma breaks her hip, when she goes to the doctor, she's going to get that painkiller, which will give you that warm, fuzzy feeling that I can't shut that off. Like I said, I just want more of that.
But could you have gotten? I mean, if you think about what's dangerous, pot's not dangerous to an athlete like these opiates are.
Right.
That,
Correct.
and they're handing those out.
I know it needs to be looked at because there are alternatives, and that's the whole thing, that it's misinformation. People believe that because a doctor prescribes it that it's okay, and they don't understand that after being on it for a certain amount of time, now you got this gorilla on your back that it's hard to get off.
But see, you have to be now addicted to this feeling of helping people.
Yes.
Like your addiction has to be that now.
Yes, and you know what it is? I'm addicted to the connection, and I get to connect on a whole different level today. I used to be so scared of people. I'm telling you, and that's why I retreated to my solution to life, which was drugs and alcohol. I couldn't do this. I couldn't go out in public. I was always just afraid, Dan. I was completely afraid, and it's not like that today. And I am addicted to the connection with people.
Talking to Todd Marinovich, former USC Raiders quarterback. I mean, you told the story in the CFL where you're getting high at halftime.
Yes.
You're doing heroin at halftime?
Yes. Yeah.
Could somebody have told you, though? Because sometimes if you don't get it, like if
Right.
this Todd Marinovich talks to Todd Marinovich who's 25,
Right.
does 25-year-old Todd Marinovich listen to this Todd Marinovich?
Gosh, good question. I don't know. And I can't get caught up in, is the message going to be heard? I just have to bring the message, and hopefully that something clicks with. And I target, high school kids because that's where I started to go astray. And somebody close to me said, "You know what, Todd? You need to start earlier because it might be too late in high
Yes.
school."
No, you're
Yeah.
right. Absolutely.
Because when I talk to friends, they're doing it at 11, 12 before they even get to high school.
You look fuller. You look healthy. You did not look good the last time you were here. You
Yes.
looked hollow.
You're very
Now,
observant, Dan.
I don't know if you were. I said to the Danettes, I said,
The Danettes.
I thought you were. I thought you were using, even a year ago.
I was on my way if I wasn't, and like I said, I've had physical sobriety, but this is completely different. I'm living by spiritual principles, like I mentioned, honesty, and what a way to live, and it's a way out. I didn't, you know what? I was under that, under the grips of this illness that is, it's a sad, depressing.
Well, addiction is undefeated. I mean, it is.
Good point.
Right?
Yes.
The rest of your life,
Yes.
addiction is always there in the on-deck circle.
Yes.
It is
undefeated. It's a great point
It's
because
sort of waiting.
I couldn't. One of the concepts that I had really a hard time with was the surrender. I have to surrender, and being an athlete, surrender is to
Can't do it.
lose.
Yeah.
So I had to really reevaluate, really my life.
But you talked about, your dad kind of got you ready for this. He controlled you and said, this is who you're going to be.
Yes.
You're going to be this thing.
Mhm.
You're not a person. You're a thing.
Yes.
I know it's apples and oranges, but just the controlling aspect of LeVar Ball with Lonzo Ball.
Uh-huh.
Is there anything that you see that brings back any kind of memories like that?
My dad was a fantastic coach, but as a parent, he lacked a lot. And
But did your dad want to be the star?
you know,
Because LeVar Ball wants to be the star.
I don't think Marv was looking for the limelight, and I just know that it was his passion to can I help an athlete enhance his athleticism, and he thought about that for 50 years, and and he was great at it, and I think you know what he helped me become the athlete and player that I was, but there's a lot other areas to life.
Yes, yeah. But if he had worked on developing you just as a person, not as a thing.
Decisions, and he'll tell you that he didn't. If he were to do it again, it would be allowing me to make some decisions prior.
He made
to
everything.
Everything. My only decision my first big decision, which was which university to go to, and that's a huge one.
Yeah.
And I really didn't make that because of the pressure of the family to go to SC. I
Your
wanted
dad
to go to
went there.
Stanford.
Yeah.
But I felt like God, I'm going to let people down if I don't.
You look great.
Thank you, Dan.
No, and I looked forward to you coming in because it's just like with Ryan Leaf. He was in prison. I mean, he was as low as you can go.
Yes.
And sometimes it takes that.
Yeah.
To get somebody to kick your teeth in and say,
correct.
We're all looking at you.
You know what? It's by the grace of God I sit here because I always believed that I wasn't put on this planet to throw spirals, and I didn't really throw too many spirals anyways. But now I know what it is, and it's to share my story and to
You think you should be dead?
I do, without a doubt. There's been so many from cartwheeling a car on the 5 freeway to overdoses to you know what? I am so grateful I'm sitting right here with you today, Dan.
All right. Just embrace it, though. Be addicted to this, though.
I
man.
am.
Be addicted.
And the thing about my story is if I'm not continuing on this path, you'll hear about it.
Oh, I know. I read all about it, Todd. I read all about it.
My friends say when we don't see you on the news, you're doing good.
You can learn more about Todd and the great artwork that he does, and I hope you're continuing to do this.
Oh, I love it. It's part of my recovery.
Great.
Yes.
Continue to do it. ToddMarinovich.com. We'll talk to Rich Eisen coming up next, right here on The Dan Patrick Show.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.